Good morning. Welcome to our new location. We just moved and things are finally starting to get settled down. So I thought I would film a little vlog and show you what I'm working on. I started a new work in progress and I changed my outlining process a little bit with this. So I thought I would share that in case anybody could take some tips from that. Just woke up. I'm going to do some yoga. I'm also meeting with a group of other women online and we're gonna do some writing together, so I'm really excited for that. Yeah, so let's get started. Just finished a lovely yoga class and now I'm making some toast for breakfast, and then I'm going to work on some content for Instagram. Maybe let Lucy out because she is unhappy right now. And then I have the little writing group session at 10. So I'll probably eat my breakfast and work on Instagram content stuff until then, which I'll probably need my phone for, so I will see you when it's time to write. I have got my coffee here and it's about time to get online with the other girls and meet them, and we're gonna get some writing done together. I'm excited. Just finished up writing for the day. We wrote for an hour in the little online group writing session, and then I stayed on because it was time to insert a backstory scene that I had already written before, so I wanted to finish copying and pasting that into there and then reading it over and make sure it fit and editing the parts that didn't fit. So I did that, and it wasn't a very big scene, but overall I wrote 2,258 words in like an hour and 20 minutes, so that was pretty good. Very excited about that. I'm officially past the midpoint of the story, so it's so exciting. I thought I would talk a little bit about this project that I'm working on and my outlining process for this book, because it's a lot different than the last book that I wrote that is sitting in its second draft right now that I have paused on, and just like some things that I learned from writing that story that I am now implementing in this one. So without further ado, my first step for writing this project confidently was to make an outline. And I love like discovery writing, but it does help me feel more motivated to write if I have a general idea of where the story is going. But with my last story, I did have a general idea, but once I got to the end, like there was no solution, there was no ending that could work without like a major reconfiguration of the story. So I really didn't want to have to do that again with this one. So the first thing I did was to get this book, Save the Cat. Save the Cat writes a novel. I'm sure that if you are in the writing space for any amount of time, you will probably have heard of this book. And it's really super useful. It's kind of like everybody that writes a story would benefit something from this book. So with the last story, I used the 3-act story structure, and Save the Cat really uses the 3-act story structure. It just gives you more plot points, like it just breaks it down a little bit more than the 3-act story structure. The act 2 isn't such a big, vast, empty space that you have to navigate. It kind of breaks it down and makes little like sub points. So what I did was I read this book and kind of made a Scrivener document with each of the plot points in there and just jotted down. Like nothing super crazy. I'll kind of show you real quick without giving away too much. Okay, so you can kind of see here, like I have Act 1 and then it is the opening image and then the theme stated and then setup. And if I needed to like set up, I put a little note here about kind of what the setup is and the catalyst. And then sometimes I have a couple paragraphs, sometimes I just have like a sentence or two. It just kind of depended on like how much I wanted to put in. This story is going to be dual point of view. So I did a Save the Cat structured outline for both point of views, two separate ones. A lot of the plot points overlap, so that's fine. It just made it faster and easier. And some of the plot points for like one of the characters aren't actually going to be taking place in the story. It's just so that I know what is happening for that character, because both of them are going on a journey, like an emotional internal journey from the beginning to the end. They're both going to be changed by the story. So I wanted them to each have a full outline so that I could keep track of that. By going through the outline in this way, I was able to find a lot of plot holes, a lot of things that didn't work right at the beginning. Like instead of just being, and as I was doing the outline, I was really diligent about that. If I was going through and I was like, oh, I don't know if this will work, I'm just gonna just go past it and I'll figure it out. I did that a lot with my first story and I did not do that with this one. If I felt like there was something that didn't work, I was like, okay, I'm gonna figure this out right now in the outlining process. Not that it's perfect right now, there's still a lot of things that need figured out, but answering those questions at the beginning has just saved me a lot of time and has let me just write a lot more fluidly. That end of the story still has some gray area in there, so we'll see. Stay tuned for my other videos to see how that works out, but it's way more outline than I've ever had an ending before, so here's hoping that I have enough written out. It's just there's some things, like for example, writing this midpoint, I got past the midpoint today and one of my characters is telling the other one a secret, and I just wasn't really sure how my main character was going to take being told that secret, and turns out she did not take it well. Yeah, so it kind of changes some things. Nothing major. I left room in my outline for playing around with the story, because if it's too structured, if every detail is written out, like I already know the story and I'm not going to be motivated to write. For me personally, there's a balance between having an outline that is motivating and guides me and to write the story versus having outline that is super detailed and just kind of sucks the joy out of it for me. And I don't care. I know I'll have to revise and stuff because of that, and I am fully prepared for that. I just think that revising is just going to make the story even better, so I'm not too worried about it because I know I have that step in the future. Yeah, that is a bit about my outlining process, what I've learned and how it is different in this story that I'm working on now, and I'm really curious if you do something similar. If you use Save the Cat, let me know. Do you love it? Do you hate it? I might get back to doing some writing today, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna do some fun stuff. I'd like to do maybe a little bit more. I don't know, we'll see. I have to do some meal prepping and work on some stuff for this new house. You can see that this room is very empty looking because, like I said, we just moved here, so there is a lot to be done. Let's keep on keeping on. I'm just doing some meal prepping there on the stove. I'm gonna make some enchiladas, but while I was cooking, I was listening to a YouTube video. If I remember, I'll try to link it below, talking about the bindery, which is a new thing in publishing, and I'm not going to talk about it too much here. You can check out that video or a bunch of other videos, or by the time this posts, you might already know about it because It's just the beginning of August now, August 3rd, and it's launching. It's supposed to be launching now in August. And it's just basically this whole new thing in publishing where basically influencers are working through this company, The Bindery, to have their own imprint where they can choose which books they want to publish. And then The Bindery works with this company to edit and distribute the books. And anyway, it's a whole complicated thing that I don't even fully understand, but it's a little overwhelming, but also could be really interesting. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out, and I'm gonna try to stay up to date on what is happening with that. So just thought I would let you guys know about that in case you don't know about it already. Definitely look into it if you're a writer. It's good to know what all your options are. I'm just working on some stuff on Canva for Instagram. I'm making a little like highlight, like start here, about me, general information highlight. So I'm designing that on Canva. It's actually kind of fun. I made a whole bunch of enchiladas, so hopefully they're really good because I made way more than I thought I would make. So hopefully we can eat them for a long time. Tonight we are actually me and my fiance are doing our first bachata lesson, so I'm really excited about that. We're gonna see how good we can get in the next 2 months and see if we can actually do a bachata dance as the first dance for our wedding, which is in October. So we will see about that. But anyway, since we have that and he's gonna be home soon, I'm going to finish up this little mini check-in vlog. If you stuck around, thank you. Let me know if you related to any of the outlining stuff that I talked about earlier, how you outline. Tell me about what you're working on. I'd love to hear it. If you're on Instagram too, drop your handle. I'll be sure to check it out. I will see you in the next one. Bye.